Hey everyone, Pastor Curtis here with another quick question video. Hannah asked, which biblical book tells of David and Goliath? And the story of David and Goliath is found in 1 Samuel 17. God bless you today, and I hope this video helps you. Okay, wait, well, just kidding. As simple as that might have been to answer Hannah's question, I want to think for a second about the story of David slaying Goliath. Really, this was David's first test after being anointed as the future king of Israel. And no one in the Israelite army was brave enough and to go and fight this giant Goliath. And realistically, it wasn't that they weren't brave enough, strong enough, or even clever enough warriors. Really, the problem was that they didn't trust God the way that they should. Listen to what King David said. Actually, he wasn't the king yet, but the future King David. But listen to what David says in 1 Samuel 17:26. David asked the men standing near him, "What will be done for the man who kills this Philistine and removes this disgrace from Israel? Who is the uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" David knew and trusted in God. He didn't ask about Goliath's impressive armor. He didn't ask if they had a surprise attack plan ready to go. And he didn't care if Goliath was the biggest man any of them had ever seen. He really just didn't care. He only cared about one thing, that Goliath was standing up in defiance to God. In 1 Samuel 17, verse 37, David gives his reason for assurance, and he said this, the Lord, who rescues me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, will rescue me from the hand of the Philistine. Saul said to David, "Go, and the Lord be with you." See, his reason for hope was that he trusted in God. God was his reason for strength and security and hope in the battle. He would have stood up to an army of 1,000 people alone just because of his strong faith in God. And I think you know the rest of the story pretty well, but David, he uses a sling and a rock to slay the giant. And not only that, but he even humiliated Goliath by using Goliath's own sword to cut off Goliath's head after he was dead. And not only that, but David kept Goliath's head for a while just as a sign of God's faithfulness to David and to Israel. But what should this story mean for you and I? I think very often in the life of Christians, we're too much like the rest of Israel's army. We let things stand in our way of doing what is right. Imagine instead of Goliath that the giant's name is fear. We let fear stand in our way of doing what we know is right. We aren't willing sometimes to trust God enough to stand up against all the odds that seem stacked against us. To trust in Him and go forward faithfully against all odds. Instead, people like the Israelites and like us, we let our fears, our problems, our situations take control of our life. And we don't stand up for justice when we need to. We don't stand up against the enemies of God when they are doing wrong. And we don't stand up, for example, maybe to that bully in your school because we allow fear to be in control. And I think David in this story did only one thing right, and that was he placed all his faith in God. He refused to be worried about what people thought. He didn't worry about the size of the problem or worry even about that everyone thinking the odds were stacked against him, but rather he used his faith as a weapon against evil. He struck down Goliath because he knew Goliath was not serving God and was opposing God. And you and I, we can strike down fear. We can strike down injustice. And we can strike down those who oppose God if we are willing to have that unwavering faith in God like King David had in this story. Don't ever let someone or something stop you from doing what you know is right. God, He'll always protect you, provide for you, and fight for you if you are doing things that honor His name. God bless you, and I hope this video helps you to have faith in God even when others around you don't. And I also hope it teaches you that in 1 Samuel 17, you can find that awesome story of David slaying Goliath. God bless you.